Got the original crew back, joined by guest Julian. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, not much.
Jules in the building.
Wanted to start this off with some NBA talk, talking about the Lakers and Anthony Davis. Obviously, he got hurt last night or the night before, and prior to that, he's looked.
I think he's
pretty great.
He's just sick. I think.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, up until then, I mean, people are talking about him being an MVP and back in that conversation, who's better, him or Giannis? I think he's surpassed the talks of him being in the categories with like Zion and Cat and those guys, and showed why he's in that upper echelon, top tier of guys. So, what's your guys' thoughts on him and some early MVP predictions going around?
Yeah, I mean, I was dogging him to start the year. I was saying that it's over. Like, he just can't stay healthy. If he can, I always said he's like a top guy, but he just couldn't stay healthy. He wasn't consistent enough. He was made of glass, all that stuff, which is what everybody was really saying. We all know how good he can be, and he's showing it. But he's really, I think right now he should be the MVP favorite just by the way he's played over the last 10, 12 games. He's just putting up ridiculous numbers at this point, and the Lakers are finally starting to win basketball games, getting back on a roll. Russell Westbrook looks like a sixth man of the year kind of guy, and LeBron's playing solid enough where it's going to kind of get them over that hump.
Yeah, I agree with Sam. I mean, it was just a disaster of a start for the Lakers. Like, they were 2-9, 2-10.
Yeah.
Everything was going wrong. Russ looked like he was the worst contract in the NBA. He's still not a great contract, but he just couldn't do anything right. And then, all of a sudden, AD, he starts to kind of find his groove. Russ finds his role on the bench, and now they're back in the playoff mix. I mean, he's been going, bro. I pulled up his stats. I mean, right now he's averaging 27 a game, 12 rebounds, shooting almost 60% from the field. And then he had those back-to-back games against Milwaukee and Washington where he went 44, 10, and 4, and then 55, 17. Then he had 3 blocks in each of those games, and they were both wins. And it's they're back in the mix now. Wow. So if those two can stay on the court, I think they can. I don't think they're an actual contender, but I think they're a playoff team for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Lakers, they've been impressive the last week or so. I'm not sold on AD as an MVP though. I still think Luka has it. And Giannis has been balling all year. But the MVP is pretty much, based on if you can win in the league, right? So, the past, 5 or 10 MVPs have probably been top 5, in the conference standings. So, AD has got to make the Lakers a top 5 team in the West in order for him to get my MVP vote. But right now it's Luka, Giannis, and then the rest. But I still think Luka has it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's facts actually.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, there was rumors of that trade going around with the Lakers sending Russell Westbrook and I think 2 first-round picks
pretty much. There was so many rumors that basically everyone was kind of holding out for those 2 Laker picks because they're in a few years and most likely they're gonna be bad. So it just kind of was about how desperate the Lakers are, but it doesn't seem like they shouldn't do it. I don't think Russ is expiring.
I mean, I just think if you can bring in someone, because obviously the few of the rumors was bringing in a guy like DeMar DeRozan and Vucevic, and then obviously Kyrie Irving. If you can find a way to bring in DeMar or Kyrie and implement him in with Anthony Davis and LeBron, I think you're immediately going to be a contender in the West.
I think the DeMar and Vooch trade, that is worth it, but I don't think doing that for Kyrie makes sense.
Yeah, Kyrie's too much of a headache right now.
There's no guarantee that he's gonna play, and then it's you have that big 3, but it's obviously if they're all at their peak and they're healthy, they're great, but it's also 3 guys, especially now LeBron his older age, you can't guarantee that he's gonna be on the court.
Yeah,
so then
but
you have 3 guys.
With him being on the court right now, I mean, why wouldn't you do that? Once LeBron leaves, the Lakers are fucked regardless. So it's while you have LeBron now who's still being able to play at a pretty high level, why not try to just sacrifice and maybe you win one, maybe you win another one. If you win 2 out of the last, 4 years, 3 years. I mean, hey, like you won. Like
It just-
you made the most out of bringing LeBron to LA. If you can win 2 championships in 3-4 years, bro, you won. When was the last time the Lakers won before that?
But do you
Kobe.
actually think that they could? I know you might, but
What?
I don't think even with the trade, like I think the rest of the roster is just not good enough, especially with the talent in the West right now. Like I'll flip it to you guys. What about the idea of trading Anthony Davis at his peak right now and getting a bunch of value for him?
I don't
No,
like that.
no,
I don't
there's
like
no
that
point
at
in
all.
doing that.
Because
No,
you're trading,
because if LeBron is out in a year, if they suck again this year and they have no future going forward, really, there's a good chance that LeBron's like, "Yo, trade me,"
you got to risk it though. Like you.
and then it's like you have no pick. Like if you make that trade, you have no picks.
sure your mic
Yeah,
is
yeah,
close.
pick it up.
Well, yeah, but
If you make that trade,
trading
you
LeBron,
have
you're
no
getting
picks
assets
for
back.
like the foreseeable future, and then it's like if LeBron leaves, then you have AD, and you have no picks, and like you're just kind of stuck. Like if you trade AD now at his peak, you could get great return on it, and he hasn't been
But the way that
playing like he has been injured, and he hasn't been playing his best in the past year or so. So it's like his value right now it will probably be the highest it's gonna be.
I mean, I just think it's a gamble. I think like
I
getting
think
rid
either
of,
way is a gamble.
You got to go to the All-Star break, like at least, and see what. Like if you have a winning record at the All-Star break, then I'd stick with it. But if you're 10 games below 500, then I'd make the trade. You know what I mean? Like,
I
I'm
agree
just,
with
I
Something like
agree.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm just saying, like, I think it's something that they might have to consider, especially because you have LeBron in fantasy. He's missed a lot of games this year.
He's missed a lot of games, but when he's on the court, he's still.
Of
I think he's
course.
like the 7th ranked player in all fantasy.
Yeah.
he's still putting up his regular 26, 8 and 8 or whatever.
Well, you know,
And when
availability.
he's on the court, he's putting up numbers, and he's putting the Lakers in a position to win. I think if they make the Vooch DeRozan trade, it definitely catapults them into like a top, I don't know, 6 team in the West. Assuming everything gels properly, because obviously you gotta that DeMar's not the greatest 3-point shooter. Obviously, there's not a lot of room for AD to do work. If you got Vooch down on the block, like you have to make sure everything works properly.
Mm-hmm.
And from the standpoint of just assuming everything goes well, we know that the capabilities of LeBron and AD just together is championship level, and then you add an all-star level player in DeRozan and a guy in Vooch who I think he averages more like, I don't know what, a 13 or 14 point double-double, 13 and 13 for his career. Like he's as good as you're gonna get for a 4th guy on a team. There's no team that would have a better 4th option in the entire league. Maybe Golden State with Jordan Poole if he decides to pick it up a little bit, but other than that, they're gonna have the best squad in the league if they make that trade for Vooch and DeRozan.
I don't think they'll have the best squad. It's just like, do you think that'll perfectly gel though? Because kind of like you said,
I'm saying
like,
if everything
it's gonna
perfectly
get a
gels,
little
you
clogged
never know.
with Vooch down there.
I agree.
AD.
I just
Vooch
mentioned
can
that.
shoot the 3 though.
He
He
can.
can- yes, he
but
can.
then
Now
it's like,
now you can actually play AD at the 4 where he's more
Natural,
comfortable.
Yeah, but
It's
then
more
it just
natural.
gets. I don't know. It could work, but it
You-
just
you
seems
can't-
like
you
there's a
can't
lot
have
of room for it to go wrong.
But that's what we're talking about in the gambling situation. Like, you have to make a decision. It's probably going to be around the All-Star break. I mean, we've seen trades go down during the All-Star game. The DeMarcus Cousins deal from him going to Sacramento to New Orleans. That happened literally during the All-Star game, and he found out afterwards. So the Lakers front office is going to have to make a decision whether they want to have a winning basketball team and continue having success in Los Angeles when you have LeBron James, or do you just throw in the fucking towel and move on? But when you're LA, the fans are gonna revolt quick if you just fucking throw in the towel.
I don't think they will.
100%.
I think if you know anything about basketball, you know this team right now they suck. Like the reason they're winning games right now is because AD's scoring 50, he's scoring 40, like he's going off.
But that's my point.
But realistically, the
if
rest
you
of that
add
team
DeRozan-
is not
but
even
if you
remotely
add
good.
DeRozan and Vooch, the team is much better off.
But you said they're the best team with those two guys.
I said they have the best starting caliber group of players that are going to be on the floor at the same time.
You
I
can't
said
have
they'll
Lonnie
probably end
Walker
up
as a
being
4th
6
option though.
Like,
What happened?
you can't have Lonnie
You got
Walker as
Lonnie
4th
Walker.
option.
Austin Reeves is
you're not gonna win
solid,
anything
like-
with Lonnie Walker taking 20 shots a game. You know what I mean?
But-
You gotta.
Exactly, but if
Yeah.
you have DeRozan, all of his shots are going to Walker. Walker's a bench player the second DeRozan walks in the door. So what's the point there? If anything, you probably bring Russell Westbrook back as the starter. You probably have LeBron.
Oh, he'd be in the
Westbrook
trade.
would be in part. Would
Yeah.
be
He'd
a
have
part
to
of
be
it.
in the
He'd
trade
have
for
to
the
be,
money
yeah.
to work.
Correct. So regardless, who would be the fifth guy on the floor? Does it really matter?
I guess not.
Probably Brown. He'll probably just be there to play defense, 3 and D.
Yeah. I still like even if they make that trade though, I don't even know if I'd see them as a top 4 team in the West.
I said 6. They could jump up to the 6 seed. They're what, 11 right now?
Yeah, but it's like, do you risk your whole future to become a 6 seed?
Well, they have to make that decision when they're the All-Star. I mean, when you're the 6 seed, as long as you're in the playoffs, anything could happen. And we saw that with the 2011 Mavs. I mean, what seed were they?
2011 Mavs.
I don't think
Yeah,
it was
when they
high.
won the championship, I don't think they were a high seed. They had to
I
go,
don't think so.
They had to go through the Lakers. They had to go through the Spurs. OKC had a good year that year.
Yeah, they're maybe probably 5 or below, 5,
Yeah.
6, 7.
Yeah, even when Golden State was starting to make their run in the beginning, they were the 4th, 5th seed when obviously the Clippers were still around. You had Houston at the top of their power. They weren't like the number 1 team until 2016.
Yeah.
They were still
I mean,
just
hey, I hope
entering the
as a
playoffs.
fan, I hope they do it because I will love to watch the Lakers have no picks for the next few years and just suck. I would love to see that, yo.
But it wouldn't be for the next few years.
Yeah.
Like if they make that trade, I mean, they're still going to be relevant for the next 3-4 years.
Are
It
they
won't-
locked up, all under contract?
I'm pretty sure DeRozan is. And if anything, like if
Vooch is he's underwhelming right now. He
And
just
he'd probably
hasn't
be
been
even
playing
more
well. They like
underwhelming
they
when he's on
they
the
probably
Lakers.
lost that trade, the Bulls.
Probably.
Prob-
The Bulls aren't
probably
doing
because
anything.
they're not
Turned
fucking
into
winning games.
Wagner, whatever you.
Wagner.
Yeah, Wagner,
Yeah.
and then they got Wendell.
Yeah.
Was there something else as well?
Uh,
Wagner he's good.
He had a good rookie year.
And he's playing
I
well
don't know
this
how
year
he's playing
too.
this
And
year.
Wendell Carter's a nice player.
yeah. I mean, speaking about Anthony Davis, we could do Would You Rather with Anthony Davis and kind of see, because, I mean, you can chalk him up in that upper echelon of guys now.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like I'd take him over most guys right now, like the way he's playing.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
just out of control.
All right, let's see.
do it. Let's do it.
all right. So, would you rather Anthony Davis? We'll go this way. So Jules will start. Y'all go, and I'll go last. Would you rather Anthony Davis or Giannis?
Giannis.
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 Giannis. Would you rather Anthony Davis or Joel Embiid?
I'm still going Joel.
I'm gonna go Anthony Davis right now.
I'll go Joel.
I'll take Embiid as well.
Would you rather Anthony Davis or James Harden?
AD.
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 Yeah, I'll go Anthony Davis. Would you rather Anthony Davis or Zion Williamson?
All right, this is getting disrespectful now. We got to go AD. Zion's not there yet, but
I agree. Zion's not yet there yet, but if you're like talking about building your franchise around somebody, I mean Zion just because of the age, but I mean I'd definitely go AD.
Yeah, I'm going AD.
Yeah, AD. Would you rather Anthony Davis or Jokic?
that's a good one. I'm still going Jokic. He's back-to-back MVP. You can't go against him.
I'd probably go AD.
Jokic. I'm not ready to go there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jokic. Would you rather Anthony Davis or Devin Booker?
That's a tough.
Suns
one,
fan.
man.
He's sweating.
Right now, I'm gonna go AD, but I think by the end of the year, Devin Booker will have a better season.
AD.
I'll go AD.
I'm gonna go Anthony Davis. And the last one, would you rather Anthony Davis or Jason Tatum?
Tatum.
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 He's been going off too.
But it's just good to have Anthony Davis back in the conversation.
Exactly.
With those
Yeah.
type of guys
I mean, he's fun
because
to watch.
They,
bro.
I mean, the media and a lot of sports fans have such highs and lows with him, and it's like the slander on Anthony Davis gets like pretty ridiculous. Like when the guy gets hurt, you know what I'm saying? Like injuries happen, and they
Seems to happen
completely.
more often than not with him though.
Yeah, sure.
And
I
it's
mean,
like devastating injuries too. Like it's like
And it's
Season
a
after
combination
year.
of that and just those lingering ones. Like he's just always injured.
yeah.
And then
But-
Charles Barkley will call him street clothes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when it starts getting.
Yeah.
getting a little
But yo,
bit.
it's like it's crazy because like that clip came out. He was getting roasted for. I think he was with like FaZe Swag or something.
Yeah, he said he hadn't picked up a
Yeah.
basketball in like
in
3
months. He said he hadn't picked up a basketball in months, and Stephen A. and them they were ripping him apart. But I feel like that's not the most uncommon thing with some of those top guys. I think a lot of them work on just. I mean, you would know better than us, but like, don't a lot of them just focus on conditioning for the most part during the off season?
yeah, I mean, it's conditioning, getting stronger, reps, trying to improve in like one aspect. They may take like a summer to work on one aspect of their game just because of how good they are, and a variety of aspects. So, maybe AD wanted to work on, his mid-range on the left side of the floor. Maybe that'll be his main focus. A lot of those guys, they don't try to get better in all these things because they're already so good. So they have trainers and sports, analysts that are all into analytics, and they break down where you are good and, where you were poor in certain parts of the court. And then that's what you kind of, use for your motive for training and the things that you really want to focus on.
Yeah, but that even happens during the season. Like, that's not specific to off-season workouts. But even so, like, if they said, "Oh, you're better on the left block than you are on the right," so he's like, "All right, I'm going to go into the off-season work on the right block moves." He still said that he didn't pick up a basketball for 3 months.
Yeah, but
So
I
what
mean,
was-
like,
so
how
what was he
true
working on?
was that? Like, what, we don't have any insider information. We saw one video with a fucking Call of Duty dude, and we jumped to conclusion like he hasn't picked up a basketball. He did. I mean, he did what a lot of these guys do. They keep their name relevant. They're master marketers. You think AD really didn't pick up I mean, yeah, sure, the guy was hurt.
I mean,
sure, the guy picked up a basketball though. Like, let's be real. Like,
But picked up a basketball like and saying like, "Oh, you just fucking around and shooting at a park," or I'm assuming he probably has a hoop in his backyard or somewhere at his house. But doing that and going to the gym and working is much different, and I think that's what he meant. He hasn't been going to the gym and really working and putting in hours, which is like, if that's what you're not doing, then that's what you're not doing. But I think it got to a point where they said, "All right, well, you're not healthy. If you're not working on your body consistently every off season, because we see it happening during the regular season that you're not in every game, and then you're also not working on getting better as a basketball player." I mean, it just looks bad.
I just think it was like really like taken out of context, and like the media blew it up, and like I don't think he really cared too much about it. I mean,
No,
I think the guy worked his game. The guy just had 55 on Giannis in month, the beginning of
He
month
was working
3 of
on
the
something.
season. So obviously something clicked this summer for him to get back to this level of play. I know you wanted to talk about the Knicks a little bit.
I want to talk about the Knicks because
Yeah.
I'm just annoyed.
Yeah, dive into
I mean,
that.
I know you're a Suns fan, Jules. Zach, are you a Knicks fan?
Nah.
You're just like a player
Just a basketball fan.
Yeah. I don't really. I mean,
Sam,
I'll
are you a
root.
Knicks
I'll
fan
root for
even?
the Knicks.
New York by default, but
Yeah.
more of a players.
Bro, I'm just annoyed with the Knicks. So the report came out today from Fred Katz, The Athletic, that the Knicks are willing to attach Cam Reddish or Emmanuel Quickley to Evan Fournier to make a trade work. It also came out that they're just interested in general about trading Cam Reddish. Like 3 weeks ago, Cam Reddish was like playing 30 minutes a game, and everyone was like, he found his spot. He's finally like figuring out what type of player he can be with Tibbs. And then he got hurt, and then he like kind of like fell out of the rotation. And it's just like him and IQ have been two of their better young players this year. And it just seems like Leon Rose and like that whole crew, World Wide West, like they don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore. Because they're getting all these picks. Then they were supposed to be in on the Donovan Mitchell trade. They didn't make it happen. The Cavs ended up coming through, taking Donovan Mitchell. Now he's having an MVP caliber season. But they're just they had to trade a pick with Kemba Walker to get rid of his contract. They had to attach a pick to get rid of Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks. Now they're trying to do the same thing for Fournier. It's like every single guy that they just traded for, that they just either signed or whatever they did like a year ago, they're attaching picks to get rid of them. And it just doesn't make sense. None of their young guys are really making the leap. I don't want to call for someone's job, but they're all just doing a horrible job.
I mean, you think it's just to get as many assets as possible for
what?
Wembanyama?
I don't. The thing is, they're not good assets. Like, yes, they're first-round picks, but they're heavily protected. So it's like if I have the first pick and I can get Victor Wembanyama, and the Knicks are like, yo, we got the 12th pick and like 5 other like highly protected like fuck no, like hang up the phone immediately. I don't know what they're doing. It seems like they have no direction. I like that they signed Brunson because he's been really good. RJ they extended, he's looked horrible. Randall they extended, he looked like ass last year. Now he's looking a lot better. But they drafted Obi Toppin with the lottery pick the year before. Or the year before his All-NBA season. So now they have him, who looks like he could be a good player, but he's not getting the minutes because Julius Randle's an all-star caliber player. It's just a dumpster fire.
I mean, what was the upside with Obi Toppin? Like, Did they see him being like the next Kenyon Martin?
I think that they saw him as like I think Stoudemire would probably be the best comparison to him with what they were maybe
He
looking
doesn't
for.
have the skill set though.
No, but
Just
at the
the
same time,
athleticism to
but here's the
start.
thing. When they drafted him over Halliburton, which I love Obi Toppin, it was a mistake, obviously. On draft night, a lot of people, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's easy in hindsight.
But
to,
the only thing I'll say is Julius Randle was coming off a horrible season, and they wanted to trade him before his All-NBA season. Then he ends up having the All-NBA season, and they were kind of in a position where, like, we have this guy who's an all-star right now. Kind of came out of nowhere. We just drafted Obi. And then Obi's looked good in his minutes, but it's like he's not allowed to play the basketball that I think he's really best at now. He's kind of just like go in there and maybe shoot. But that's not really his game. So it's just kind of a disaster. I think that they need to – I think they're not that good, so they're going to have a bad record, but – I don't think attaching young players to get rid of guys like Fournier makes any sense. Like just bite the bullet, lose as many games as possible, and hope for a good pick.
If you had to say one, who did they get rid of first, Tibbs or Rose?
I would. It's so tough now. I would have said Tibbs like without hesitation like 2 weeks ago, but if Leon Rose does one of these ridiculous trades, I think he's got to go also. He just doesn't. He has no track record of doing this, and it's like at this point he's just acquiring overrated picks and not doing anything with them.
No, I think the Knicks are in a bad spot because they're not the Spurs. They're not going to get Victor, right? But they're also not a playoff team, so they're in the middle. So they're not going to get a lottery pick, or they could, but it would be a bad lottery pick. So they either need to just clean house, like get rid of the GM, get rid of Tibbs, and just like try to be bad, or they gotta like just like start actually like getting a good GM to get solid people to build around Brunson and whoever they draft with their next pick. Because like I don't think their roster's a bunch of third options right now.
They're just mid.
They don't have any stars. They're just there to sell tickets at MSG. So they just gotta tank, or they gotta really just like start over. I mean, or improve the roster quickly, but I don't think they can do it. So.
Yeah. It sucks because they have a lot of likable guys.
Yeah.
It's easy to root for a lot of those guys. Like they're all none of them are like they don't have really any players that I'm like this guy sucks. But they don't have anyone who's like you said, they're kind of all like just middling play. Like they have potential. None of them are really playing up to it. That could be Tibbs, that could be the situation they're in. But it's kind of just like they're just in no man's land right now.
Yeah, that's why I think it is Tibbs. Like, most of the guys on their team are top 15 draft picks, and they're just all being used at such a, like you said, a middling level. They're either not getting enough minutes, they're not being put in the right position. When you said with Obi Toppin to actually score the basketball, and the offense as a whole is just like they don't have any kind of identity really. I think they brought in Brunson and assumed that. They were like, all right, we finally got the point guard that we need. He's going to be the one to change the offense. This is exactly what Tibbs needed. And Tibbs obviously doesn't know how to use him. He's got a dinosaur-style offense. And when it comes to the point, I think also they expected RJ to take the jump, which is really what I think is holding them back more than anything, is that RJ just isn't making the jump in any kind of way on offense, defense, in any kind of situation. So I think they have to seriously consider more so trading their RJ or Obi and trying to get a top lottery level pick.
They can't really trade RJ this year though because of he's got the poison pill thing. So basically like I think this is how it works. Because he just signed that like extension, I'm pretty sure he can be traded, but his like contract like to match the money, he's only worth like he can only be traded for the value of the money is like the $8 million or whatever it was. That was like from his original like what it would have been if he wasn't extended this year. So like if they're trying to trade him for a guy who's on like a max, you can't really make the money work because he's only worth to the cap like $8 million or something.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't even saying for a player. I was saying for like a top pick.
Yeah. I don't think, but who's like I love RJ, but who's giving a top pick for him right now?
I could see like like a bottom tier team taking a chance on
Because
him,
he's locked up in a
he-
contract?
what is he, like 22, 23? Like
He's
he's young, right?
He's
So
young.
he's got some time to develop, but it's not looking good this year.
He just has like no touch. Like he just no touch around the basket. It's hard to watch.
I mean, I drafted him off my fantasy team, and he's just been.
I did in my
just
other
a,
league,
Just a
too.
bust, man. It's tough. It's tough.
You want to transition into some football? Talk some NFL.
I'm down. Yeah.
Sure.
The Monday night game, I saw a lot of like conspiracy stuff going around, talking about like how the NFL is rigged, and like it showed it with Mark Ingram running out of bounds when he easily had the first down, could have put the game away 16-3 with 6 minutes left. You get that first down, you probably win the game. You know, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think – it looked quite obvious that he saw the first down marker in front of him. Obviously, you know, we see the yellow line, but, I mean, he knows where the first down is, and he cut it right out of bounds, you know, a yard before. They obviously don't get the first down, and Brady does what Brady does, and, you know, they lose the game. It did look pretty weird, and I know there's been a lot of things talking about if NFL's rigged, these things are, you know, staged. That was one of the most like quite obvious ones that I've seen so far that could make you believe that.
I mean, I don't think it's rigged. I mean, I don't think any professional sport's rigged, obviously, but I mean, it is sus. You know, like I mean, because I saw Mark Ingram actually tweeted after the game, like he should have known where it was. So maybe it was just like a brain fart. You know, you never know, but. I actually didn't watch the game, so I didn't see it live. But I mean, I don't think it's rigged. I think maybe he just made a bad mistake, and Brady just went back and did his Brady thing. But I don't think the NFL's rigged. Yeah.
But why would you even run out of bounds in that position? Why would you not keep the clock running?
The real issue is just having that game on prime time.
Yeah.
Monday night. I mean, no one wants to watch those two teams. It's just absolutely. Two of them were at the game. They were in Tampa, and of course they love Brady. But the only reason they said the whole game, like up to the third quarter, was like the most boring thing they've ever been to. And then it turned out awesome. But
I mean, so was Sunday night. Sunday night was awful too. Colts look awful against the Cowboys.
there's just too many teams that I feel like people thought were gonna be solid this year that just suck.
Like the Broncos,
Like, they're just
Chargers.
Chargers,
That one's
Rams,
killing me.
You gotta bite
Bucks,
that bullet.
Patriots,
Broncos, Patriots are but
Raiders.
it's like Raiders. The Ravens can't
The
score.
Rams.
Yeah, I said the
you
Rams,
said the
but
Rams,
like
yeah.
But a lot of these
they're just all so hard to
a lot of
watch.
these teams are injuries. Like obviously the Rams, the Chargers have dealt with the most injuries, and now Lamar's hurt for the Ravens. But that's part of the game. But when it comes to the rigging thing, other sports, I still don't think so. I agree with you. I don't think any sport is rigged. But football, 100% not. Just because these guys are putting their lives on the line, like you can die at almost any single play, just because of how fast these players are moving, how big they are, and how hard they're hitting each other. I don't think anybody's just gonna say, yeah, like I'll risk my life for the league to make a couple extra dollars because they want to see Tom Brady win on Monday Night Football for a meaningless game in Week 14. Like I don't think that's a thing.
I think
it's
this-
more Mark Ingram having a brain fart, not realizing that the first down marker was there. Maybe he was just trying to get out of bounds to get the offensive line some more time to catch their breath and obviously continue the clock draining or something like that. I don't really know.
A 10-year veteran up 16-3 with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter going against Tom Brady. You don't think he would attempt to get the first down or stay inbounds at that? Like, yeah, let's run out of bounds, not get the first down, and stop the clock.
I mean, Kyle Shanahan is one of the
It's
greatest.
it's just so weird.
It's
Like,
the worst of the
Wait,
worst.
but didn't they also throw the ball like on their next drive? Didn't they throw the ball like 3 out of 4 times?
3 times.
And all they had to
Like,
do was basically burn the clock.
or make them use some timeouts.
Because then the Bucks had timeouts, and then it was 2 seconds left when Brady throws the touchdown.
Just saying.
But more so,
And-
that's bad coaching. Like you saw the same thing for the Patriots in the Super Bowl against the Falcons.
Yeah.
You saw Kyle Shanahan. They say one of the greatest offensive minds in the game, which I agree. But he just kept throwing the ball instead of running it with Devontae Smith and Tevin Coleman in the Super Bowl. They kept throwing, clock stop, punt the ball, give it
Who's
back to
Devontae Smith?
Devontae Freeman.
All right.
Devontae Smith, the Phillies receiver, yeah.
Phillies receiver. Whatever.
Dude
You know
was
what I
in
mean?
high school back then.
Yeah, he was. Get
He was
recruited by
16.
Alabama during the
He was
game.
16.
All right, whatever. Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, there are just situations where people kind of outsmart themselves because they're trying to do too much, and it just kind of screws you over. And Tom Brady is the best one at taking advantage of those situations. That's all it is.
No, I know. I mean, then you can look at the Pete Carroll not giving the ball to Marshawn. I mean, 2 weeks ago you saw the ref who left his mic on. He was like, "Let's just call it," and then he fucking turns the mic off right there. Yeah. I mean, you're throwing a flag and you don't have a definitive call and you got to talk with your partner. So what goes on in all those fucking ref huddle ups?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of the times where like out of nowhere there's just a fucking holding penalty. You know what I'm saying? Or a legal man downfield when it's like these things happen every play and it's just like the times you call it just happen to be the most crucial point of the game that dictates the outcome.
I mean,
it's just a little fishy with. I mean, bro, the amount of money sports betting is making, and just think of the world and all the things that go on with the upper tier of people and the things that we have no control of. You don't think there's some things going on behind the scenes that could dictate the outcome of game? I mean, look at you guys saw the sports.
Yeah.
You saw the sports documentary with the ref. In basketball?
Yeah, but that was like a completely different thing. That wasn't just because they had personal bets going. Like that's completely different. And I saw a clip actually of one from the early 2000s. Baron Davis was on the Charlotte Hornets. He went and put up a 3-point shot for the win. I forget who they were playing. The ref started calling it off before he even got the shot off. There was still 0.4 seconds on the clock. The ref, before he even shot the ball, just started waving his arms, calling off the shot. He banks it in. They win the game, but they say, and it was before that they started doing, I guess it was 01, that I saw somebody comment that they weren't allowed to do reviews of buzzer beaters until like the 02-03 season. So it must have been before that where they weren't allowed to review that kind of play, and it was just an automatic loss because you never know.
Yeah. I mean, there's always been corruption in sports, but I think the weirdest thing about the Saints debacle is like they don't even have their own first round pick. Like if the Eagles have it, so it's like if they had their first round pick, it'd be like, all right, we just want to get this loss, get a better pick, things like that. But no, like they don't even have it.
That division's still wide open though. The Bucks were 5-6.
Maybe they're just trying to save us all from watching potentially Andy Dalton in the playoffs. Because he is horrible.
I mean, the Saints are just in a bad spot, and I think they have a rookie head coach. Like he's never been a coach before. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe that was just one of his moments where he'll learn from. But the Saints are in a bad spot. That was a bad play, and the Bucks are gonna be a first round exit. But
absolutely, you hear that, Roos? First round exit.
A home game against the Giants, most likely.
I think the Giants could pull that off. I really do.
They could, but I mean,
if he's gonna beat a team, he's gonna beat a team like the Giants. Like
the defense is gonna shut them down. They'll probably win like 14-3.
It's gonna be a horrible game,
bro.
Yeah,
some wild score like that, and it's just gonna be an awful game.
Unless Saquon just goes off, which
is possible. But I mean, more often than not, you're probably just gonna see a low-scoring game. Brady's gonna throw one touchdown. Fournette will have another goal line carry for the win. Saquon's held to under 50 yards, and Daniel Jones throws 2 picks. That's more likely to happen than the Giants going out and scoring 40 against this defense.
No, I can't
it's
expect
just
that. I mean, would anyone in the sports world be surprised if Tom Brady ends up in the NFC Championship game this year?
No.
Just based off of how the bracket would work out, probably not.
No.
And it's pretty crazy because it will, and he'll end up going up against Philly, Dallas, or Minnesota, and he can beat all 3 of those teams. The Bucks can beat all 3 of those teams in the NFC Championship game. Philly is going to be cold, but you go to Dallas or Minnesota, you're playing inside.
Yeah.
And if it's Dallas, they're going to be a wild card, and now you're going to go back to Tampa to play an NFC Championship game. No.
Yeah. But to me, like the thing that's so strange is like why is Tampa so bad? Their defense is great. They got Brady. They got Evans. They got
offensive line is just in shambles.
No line.
The two of them retired. Another 2 moved. One got injured. They're just all over the place with that offensive line. And for Brady, he needs time to throw. It's not like he's gonna fucking scramble.
Well, yeah. I mean, you saw that's why the Giants beat him twice in the Super Bowl. Putting pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah,
it's also
and that was when he was 30.
First year being the head coach in Tampa.
Yeah, probably was last also.
Yeah, he's. It seems like in his career he's been better as a coordinator. Bruce Arians had a lot of tricks up his sleeve, and he made the offense a lot more dynamic and used Evans. And
Byron Leftwich was still the one calling the plays most of the time.
Yeah, no, but I'm sure Bruce Arians had some type of
for sure
dictation of what went on as just culturally as a team,
Right.
So I mean, it was a shift, and I think they'll still win the division. And I mean, once you get into the playoffs in the NFL, anything can happen. I mean, bro, the Bengals went to the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
Right.
And they just had a rough game.
That was the next thing I want to talk about was the Bengals Chiefs, which seems like, I mean, it seems like those three, the Bengals, Chiefs, and the Bills are obviously like the future of the AFC, and the top three by far. But that's like a rivalry that's built up now over the past couple of years, the Bengals and the Chiefs. And, I mean, Joe Burrow kind of has Mahomes' number.
You can't call it much of a rivalry though. Bengals have won every single time.
Well, that's
but like it's Mahomes.
It's a headline matchup is what it is.
But like, they all have good quarterbacks. So I mean, Mahomes. You got Mahomes, and then you got Allen. I'm putting Josh Allen over Joe Burrow right now.
For sure.
And then Joe Burrow, I think he's a clear number 3. I think those guys. I think they're all mid-20s. They're gonna be in charge of the league the next 3 years. You have Herbert too.
Lamar.
But Chargers. Yeah, Lamar. He's good. He's just like. I don't know. Like he's 4 or 5 right now. I think I put Herbert above Lamar right now. But Lamar's good. I mean, Herbert just needs some help. I think the Chargers are a good team. They just have bad coaching and a bad defense. I think if you give Justin Herbert that, he'll be in the Burrow stratosphere pretty soon.
I mean, look, if you give Lamar some kind of wide receiver core, I think they're having a much different season. I mean, you saw how he played in the first month of the season. He was averaging like, I don't know, 400, almost 400 total yards, 4 touchdowns a game, and then it just kind of fizzled out.
He lost Bateman.
Yeah, he lost Bateman.
Sure.
Obviously, Brown hasn't been there all year. He's in Arizona now. Mark Andrews probably gets double teamed every time, and J.K. Dobbins is still on IR.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a tough year, especially for Baltimore, and I mean he's going to be out. I think they said 1 to 3 weeks with the sprained PCL. So I mean he should be back just in time for the playoffs, and hopefully they're still in. Hopefully they make the playoffs. Because the Bengals,
I think they'll make it. They're 8-4 right now, and I mean I'm sure they'll get 2 wins to get in. But
that is a good point you made though. Because I feel like the whole season we've been talking about how kind of like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are like 1A and 1B, and now it's kind of shifted towards Mahomes as a clear 1. Still kind of feels like Allen's the clear 2, but it felt like there was a big drop off, and now like Burrow's kind of like he's right in that mix for that. I think he might be the third. I wouldn't have said this last week. I would have picked probably Herbert. He could be the 3rd best quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah.
I mean, who would you take over him?
Jalen Hurts is up there. I think Jalen Hurts is top 5.
He's really good.
Jalen Hurts is top 5, and I mean,
Would you throw Herbert in there?
It's hard
the last
to judge
spot?
Herbert with the year that the Chargers have had. So I mean, it's really hard to say he is or he isn't because we haven't got to see him with a fully healthy Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and offensive line and their defense. So it's hard to really judge him. I mean, if you're talking raw talent and ability, yeah, absolutely, he's in that top 5 conversation. But I mean, he's not having a top 5 quarterback year. I think Tua had a rough week last week, but Tua had surpassed him. I feel this year with just production.
So who's your top 5 quarterbacks this year?
This year,
Yeah.
I'm going. I gotta think of that 5th, but I think 1 through 4 is Mahomes. You got Allen, you got Burrow, Hurts, and then Lamar, Herbert for me. Just off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody right now, but. One of those 2 guys.
Geno's been balling too.
He's overrated. I think he's good, but he's just in a good situation right now.
He's been balling out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's a product of his environment with their team and their play style, and I mean, bro, they have a really good receiving core. I mean, with Lockett and Metcalf, I mean, arguably that's one of the top. I'd say that's a top 5 duo in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to see that's just. In my opinion, that's like my favorite storyline for this year so far.
What,
Yeah,
Geno?
I mean, it's
Geno,
cool.
it's just cool. Like he was just, he was in bad situations, Jets, Giants. Then he's backing up Russ, and then he gets his chance, and he's having a great year.
Yeah. What about Dak? Where do you think he is in the conversation?
Top 10.
Fringe. I feel like him. I feel like him and Kirk Cousins are in like the same tier for me now.
I think he's a little better than Kirk, a little bit.
Yeah,
just because the Cowboys just look dominant right now on offense.
Yeah, but, like if you look at his weapons, bro, like I mean, he's got 2 RB. Well, Zeke, Tony Pollard, Zeke,
CD.
Schultz, CD.
Gallup. All right, we're back. Ran out of memory on the SD card. I thought I formatted it, but I didn't. Good thing I didn't format it because I never uploaded the funny part from before. So maybe we'll make a little highlight reel clip out of that. Because that was
that shit was
pretty
funny.
Yeah, you said you want to talk about the Jaguars a little bit before we dive into.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Jaguars because we got Julian on. I mean, he's probably the only Jaguars fan on Long Island. So
yeah, definitely, man. No, that's my team. I've been a fan since I was 5 years old. Been there since from rock bottom, and I mean we had that.
What's now? If that
team,
what's now?
I mean, no, we're on the climb up.
I'm just
on the climb up.
It's a championship game. I mean, that's as far
Bortles.
as far as the Jets have gotten in the same time span.
Yeah.
But like what? So like you guys kind of like got off to a good start, and then Tila started to really kind of show that he was making improvements, and now it's like he's not hurt though, right?
He didn't practice today.
It looked like he tore his ACL the other day.
It was like one of the worst injuries. It looked
bad.
like it, but
he came back.
It's like his toe or something.
Oh, okay.
He said he's gonna play, so I think he'll be back.
But do you think so? Like, are you confident with him right now?
Absolutely. Like I think I watch every Jaguars game. That's just me personally. I like them more than any sports team. Some of the throws he makes, I haven't seen any Jaguars quarterback make ever. And it might be a little biased. Like I definitely, it's a little biased, but I think he's definitely by far. It's Trevor Lawrence and then Justin Fields and then the rest of the class by far. If you watch Trevor Lawrence just make decisions, like his stats, I think it's 17 touchdowns, 6 picks, 4 rushing touchdowns, and he's been pretty efficient. So I think Jacksonville has a lot to be to look forward to.
I saw a clip the other day from I think he was like a defensive guy. It was like a blonde guy with like long hair.
Wingard, yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking about how how he's impressed with how good T-Law is right now because he had to deal with Urban Meyer last year as his coach.
He's the worst coach in history. It's miserable.
It's so strange that he was like such a legendary college coach and he was just so embarrassingly awful last year.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens for a lot of college coaches that come to the NFL. I mean, Chip Kelly, Nick Saban didn't look good as an NFL coach. And there are plenty of instances.
I think the main difference is, you're coaching 18 to 22-year-old guys that, that do need some guidance in their lives and they need discipline and they need all that. And then you get to the NFL and you're trying to coach grown men with families and real life situations. So, I mean, the way you approach them is a lot different than the way you would approach a 19-year-old college kid.
Yeah.
And some of those coaches can't make that translation and, that transfer the way that they talk to a, 19-year-old guy to the way they talk to a 34-year-old grown man with 3 kids and a wife.
I think it also comes down to because I mean, all the scouting that they do, all of the home visits that they do, and obviously he was coaching for Ohio State and Florida, where players are going to want to go. When you're in high school and you get a chance to go play for the Florida Gators, especially how they came up there in the early 2000s, I mean, people just want to go there to play. And then how good he was at Ohio State, you're going to get the best players, and that's not how it goes in the NFL.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. Wanted to finish with the all-time NFL draft. So last week we did current day NFL draft. So today we'll finish up, and now we'll have 4. So now the drafting will be a little bit tougher, and we can kind of just dive into, I guess, any era, anyone you want to grab. And we'll go quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, tight end, and an all-time defense. And,
We're doing 2 running backs?
Yeah, we'll do 2 running backs.
How many wide receivers?
3.
God,
Does it be like a snake draft?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do
This is
snake.
going to be tough.
So we'll go, how should we do the order?
Just want to get a randomizer out?
Yeah, I'll do that real quick.
So is it like, are we doing quarterbacks first, or is
Nah,
it,
just
you can
draft
draft
however you
anyone.
want.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I saw something like on TikTok actually the other day about that, but awesome.
Randomize name generator. Okay, random.
Yeah, we did. We've done current football and basketball, and we put them as like clips on YouTube. Like
We did all time.
5
We
minute.
did all time basketball. One
And they
too.
both have been like our two best, like longer form videos.
All time is where it gets people.
Okay. List randomizer. We'll go Zach, Ross, Sam, Julian. I can't spell. All right. So we're going to hit randomize right now. Your list must contain 2 items. What do you mean?
You gotta put space.
I did.
No, like go top to bottom.
Really?
Yeah.
Says who?
Press return. Now we're at it.
Rawls. Sam.
I'd be looking up shit so I
Jules.
can see it. It does make it easier.
All right, randomize.
I'm gonna do it.
Boom.
What?
Julian with the first pick, Rawls with the second pick, Sam with the third pick, and Zach with the fourth pick. All right, let's do it.
So first pick, pretty easy choice. I'm gonna go Brady.
Bullshit. First pick. Do I have the second pick?
Yeah.
The second pick. Wow, I actually have no idea who I want. I'm gonna need a second. Second pick. Do I want to go quarterback? I don't think I want to go quarterback. Let me go with Jerry Rice, the first pick. Going wide receiver.
All right, it's not a bad pick. I'll probably go. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a while till receiver gets back around to me. No, it's fine. I'm gonna take Peyton.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Peyton Manning.
All right. I got back to back right now. Let me go.
Why do you have back? Oh yeah, that's right.
It's a snake draft.
Yeah, it's
You're
snake
next.
draft.
Don't worry.
I was gonna say.
It's just because it's like a weird looking
Yeah.
order.
Yeah.
But it did kind of oddly go.
With my back to back, I'm gonna go Barry Sanders and Patrick Mahomes.
All right, I like the Pat Mahomes pick. I do.
All right, give me Randy.
We got to remember our teams.
I remember.
Oof. With my next pick, I think I'm going to go Calvin Johnson. You stack up on those receivers.
Jules got back to back now.
All right. First pick, I'm gonna go with defense. I'm gonna go the Legion of Boom defense, the 2013, 2014, whatever year that was. And then I'm gonna go receiver. I don't fucking know. I'm gonna go Marvin Harrison. Probably not a great pick, but
No, that's a good pick.
off the top of my head, I'm gonna go with that.
Okay. I might be. I might have not been paying attention because I'm trying to find. Is AP still on the board?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Adrian Peterson.
I will go with. I'll take Tony Gonzalez.
Did Randy Moss get picked?
Yeah, I took Randy.
You got Randy. So Randy, Megatron, Jerry Rice are off the board.
Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison is off the board. I don't think I was going there. Not this early. Might have been my slot. Nah, I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to go with back-to-back right now. I'm going to grab my second running back, and I'm going to go with LaDainian Tomlinson. And then I'm going to go with my wide receiver 1, which I'm going to go grab. Let me get damn, this is tough. Let me get T.O.
All right,
Go with T.O.
I'm gonna go AB then. I was waiting to see who you're gonna take. I'm taking AB.
AB.
So I got
Wow.
Peyton, Randy, AB, Tony G.
It's a good squad.
That is a good
I'm
squad.
cooking.
So now, do I want to go receiver for my third, or do I want to take my RB2?
What RBs have been taken? So we got AP off the board. We got LT off the
I
board.
think that's it. Right? I don't have one yet.
I have Barry and LT.
Barry and
Barry,
LT.
okay.
So that was
And I
the
have
one.
AP.
Yeah, Barry, LT, AP.
Is Emmitt Smith still?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Emmitt Smith.
I'm gonna go Julio Jones for my wide receiver 2, and I'm gonna go Walter Payton for my running back 2. Running back 1.
Okay. Is Gronk on the board?
Yeah, only one
Yeah,
tight
he's
end
on the
taken.
board.
I'm gonna go
Gonzalez.
with the man Gronk.
I was gonna take him.
I was gonna wait for my guy Travis, but I figure fuck it, Gronk's value at this point right here.
Yeah.
And the internet loves him.
That's true. I'll take the 2000s Ravens defense.
Ah, you motherfucker. I was waiting on that one. You.
I'm gonna go Chris Carter,
Mm.
my second wide receiver, and I'm gonna go Travis Kelce at the tight end.
Trav.
All right.
I think he'll be the GOAT by the end of it. Best
Possible.
tight end ever.
It's possible. What
Just built different.
what running backs are taken? So we got AP, LT, Walter, Barry,
Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt Smith. Is that it?
I got Emmitt Smith and AP, so I don't know.
You got Barry and LT.
I got Walter.
You got Walter. I still haven't taken a fucking running back yet. Damn. Trying to think. Who
We
would
got
be-
some options.
Yeah, I got some options. Who would be a good running back to take? I'll probably go with. I don't want to get flames for taking a bad running back, man. I feel like I could take a safe one and go Marshall Falk.
Okay.
I feel like he fit in pretty well.
There you go.
Then so you took the Legion of Boom defense.
Yeah.
I took
You
the
took
Ravens.
the Ravens. You didn't take a defense yet, right?
Defense now.
Let me get the 85 Bears.
That's a good one. I'm gonna go tight end here. I'm gonna go Antonio Gates. I think very, very underrated tight end.
OG.
And then my second running back, it's either gonna be between Marshawn and Derrick Henry. I'm gonna go Derrick Henry. I think he's good. He's an all-time great. I think he's unstoppable. He's just a freak of nature.
Okay. Good pick. I'm torn right now. Receivers. Do I want Larry Fitz or do I take a current player? Do I take Devontae?
How many more picks we got? Like,
I have my wide receiver and then I need a quarterback.
okay.
Um,
So I'll have the last pick then. Right.
yeah.
You'll have the last. Yeah.
I'm going to go Larry Fitz. I'm going to go with the OG.
So I need a wide receiver and a running back. These are my last two picks.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow, I regret that pick. I should have fucking picked someone else. I'm not going to name him.
You already regret it?
Yeah.
Who did you just take?
I took Larry Fitz. I mean, you can't go wrong with Larry Fitz. but
Yeah.
I think I regret that one.
Megatron's off the board, right?
I took Megatron Matter.
Yeah, he took Megatron mad early.
I mean, there's really no other like receivers that you could have went wrong with.
No, I mean the guy I'm
There.
thinking of is in his like third season.
J. Jeff.
Yeah.
I was thinking
I mean,
about
bro,
it,
like
but-
I think when it's all said and done, like he's
Yeah,
so
I mean, he could be.
he's
one of
so
the best,
elite, bro.
easily.
He's just putting up those crazy numbers already.
Yeah, I'll take Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, running back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my final two picks. I'm gonna go with the 07 Giants defense,
Okay.
and my final wide receiver. It's gonna be a current day guy. It's between Tyreek Hill and J. Jeff, and I'm gonna go with if I have Mahomes. But yeah, imagine Mahomes with J. Jeff. Yeah, I'm gonna go J. Jeff. I'm a J. Jeff guy.
Were you thinking of him?
Got two Vikings wide receivers. I like that team. Wow.
I mean, bro, I really think Jay Jeff. He definitely has potential to be
Yeah, in a
Top three.
top
Top-
three,
top
maybe even the
five.
best receiver ever, bro. Like he's so good. He's just
Alright,
guy's
so I
just
got my
talented. And then we got Sam. What do you need?
I need my last wide receiver. Do I go with the playmaker? Go with Michael Irvin? Or do I go with Tyreek Hill? I feel like I already got like a deep threat in Randy. I got AB over the middle. Could even go Ocho. Who's the first one I just said?
Randy.
No, I have Randy.
Michael Irvin.
Yeah, I'll go Michael Irvin.
All right, I'm gonna take Joe Montana at QB.
I'm gonna go Ty Hill. I was hoping you wouldn't take him, but yeah.
All right. So let's
Run through the teams.
We'll say our teams back in order. So Jules, read off your team first.
All right, so you want me to go like quarterback?
Yep. Bring
top
it. Yeah.
down.
All right, so I got Brady at quarterback. 2 running backs are Waller Payton and Derrick Henry. Wide receivers are Marvin Harrison, Julio Jones, and Ty Hill. The tight end is Antonio Gates, and I got the Seahawks D.
My team, I got Joe Montana at quarterback, AP RB1, Emmitt Smith at the RB2, Jerry Rice, Megatron, Larry Fitz as my receivers, Gronk at tight end, and I got the 85 Bears on defense.
Yeah, you got a sick fucking team. I really fumbled on the running backs, man.
Marshall Faulk.
Who are your running backs again?
So my team is Peyton Manning, Marshall Faulk, Jim Brown, Randy Moss, Antonio Brown, Michael Irvin. My tight end is Tony Gonzalez, and then I got the 2000 Ravens defense.
I thought Zach had Randy Moss for some reason.
No.
He has.
Yeah. So my all-time team, I got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, Barry Sanders and LaDainian Tomlinson as my running backs, Terrell Owens, Chris Carter, and Justin Jefferson as my wide receivers, Travis Kelce at tight end, and the 07 Giants for my defense. So
Word.
comment below whose team you think is best, and yeah, let us know.
Let us know who he left at too, because I know that's coming.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't take this guy. Well, I only got fucking 7 spots, so figure it out. There's gonna be this.
It's
8,000
hard
NFL players in NFL history.
Yeah,
There's gonna be a couple guys left
you didn't
off.
Take fucking Johnny Unitas. It's like, all right, bro.
It's so much harder to do all these things like
Especially off the top.
yeah, like just
Yeah.
kind of off the top. That's what we do.
Yeah, we got to wrap this up because I just got a notification from my FanDuel authentication code. I didn't access that clearly, so let me look into that.
Dude, I got locked out of my DraftKings because I was in Hawaii and I tried accessing it. It's like, and my dad tried doing the same thing. He tried putting in like a fantasy lineup. So he was in New York, I was in Hawaii. They're like, yeah, you're trying to log in from 2 different sides of the world. You're shot. We're locking you out. They haven't let me back in since.
Well, good episode, Julian. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, anytime.
We got Jules on the pod. You're Hollywood now.
Yeah, man.
That was a good one.
That was good, man. Thanks for having me, guys.